Draft Hall in just a few seconds for the ceremony to announce the final pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, and it comes from the San Francisco 49ers.
So the 47th Mr. Irrelevant 2022, with the 262nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Brock Purdy, a quarterback from Iowa State. Go Niners!
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is just how faithful God is, just by nature of who He is. A year ago, after my senior year of college, so a year ago, I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Coach Campbell and my parents, and I'm like, man, I don't know if this is gonna work out. I don't know if football's in my future. Like, I don't know what it looks like, but I'm gonna just go with the whole process of getting ready for their combine and then the draft. And if I get a shot with an NFL team, great. And I'm gonna put my head down and go to work and see what God does with me. But I had no idea, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of doubt. I had a lot of doubt of if football was even in the picture, and I was starting to get ready for whatever else God had for me in my life. Whatever that career looked like. I was starting to just think about different things, and so just overall, how God is faithful. He's never done with a story, even when you think He is. And where I'm at with the Lord in my life and everything. So I'm very thankful for how everything has gone and how it's all played out. Honestly, one of the things that I had been reading throughout the season was Mark 8:34. Talks about Jesus is telling His disciples, if you want to follow me, deny yourself, take up your cross and follow me. And it also talks about if you try to hold on to your life, you'll lose it, but if you lose your life for my sake, you'll save it. And so I think really that is just like, I feel like the message of the whole season, with all the stuff that had happened, coming in, playing, then having success, and maintaining that success, getting to the playoffs and doing all these things that a rookie quarterback hadn't really done in NFL history. And with myself and like my mindset with it was exactly that verse that Jesus had told His disciples thousands of years ago. And I didn't want to grip onto this life of, oh my gosh, I'm in the NFL, I have a starting quarterback role, I can't lose it. It was flipped. I was reminded, what Jesus had told us thousands of years ago, in terms of, don't try to hold on to your life, you're going to lose it. And the world wants you to go this way or that way, and the minute you have fame, and if you're trying to chase status and money and all this kind of stuff, you'll lose your life, rather than denying yourself, picking up your cross, keeping my eyes on Jesus and His promises, and through that, like that's life, and that's overall, man, just relying on the Lord and what His plan was, and truly believing that He had something written out for me, whether that was football or whether it wasn't. I wasn't trying to hold on to being an NFL player or anything like that. I allowed Him to just do what He wanted to with me. So, and then it all just unfolded in the right way. I think it's cool just because I didn't know what to expect going into a professional locker room, who's a believer, who's not, or any of that kind of stuff. And I was very fortunate and blessed to have guys like Charlie Warner, Christian McCaffrey, Pastor Earl Smith, Orrin Burks, these guys that are just solid believers. And we'd meet before road games and just have our little Bible studies. But the biggest thing for me was, man, having fellowship. You're in a crazy business, you're on the road, you're going to different places, but to have guys that believe in the Lord and can help you and pour into you with their experiences and everything, I found that huge. And so that's something that I want to do moving forward with guys that are coming in, and to just pour into them, obviously just have the wisdom of playing, and what it looks like to continue to serve the Lord in a business like this. So, yeah, I think just the biggest thing for me was looking back on just my life, and really the last year of when no one really cared about me. Like, who was I trying to become, in terms of a child of God, and learning, just being rooted in the Word. And so when all this stuff started happening, it's like I was reminded by God and the Holy Spirit of, man, the world's going to try to tell you this and that, all these great things, but the minute something doesn't go right, they're going to be the first ones to try to tear you down and tell you that you're not good enough again, or all these things. And so I was definitely reminded of that, and I just made sure, like, man, whatever I did this past year, and just in terms of being rooted with the Word and present with God in every step, in every moment, every rep, just driving to the facility, all that stuff of just keeping my eyes on God. I didn't want to change any of that. So when all the success and everything did start happening, I wasn't going to change, and I wasn't going to change for the world or anything. It was just continue to be myself, love on my teammates, be the same leader that I had been all year, keep my eyes on God. And for me, it was, man, how can I stay in the same routine? How can I still be spiritually fed with the Word every day? Get around the guys that are believers and have them just give you the wisdom of their experiences and everything too, and from a godly point of view. And so definitely those guys that I mentioned earlier were pouring into me, and they helped me big time, especially for those first 2 weeks, 3 weeks really. And so definitely thankful to have those kind of guys with me and just stay rooted, even when the stakes were high and every single moment was big. Yeah, I think the media for sure, there was, questions brought up in terms of like, how do you do it? And for myself, it was, honestly, you want the truth because this is the truth. And I'm not going to just say, like a worldly answer of, I look in the mirror every night and I tell myself I'm good. It's none of that. It's man, like, this is who God has called me to be, and I've believed that from day one. I believe that Jesus Christ did come down and died for my sins and rose again, and he's living, he's living and sitting beside God on the throne. And so I believe that. It's not just some story, fairy tale thing. It's real, and it allows me to stay level-headed and real with life, and I know what my purpose is. And so that all has allowed me to play my game. It has allowed me to play football at this level. And, I don't go into the locker room telling everyone, I believe this or that. Or it just comes about, when guys ask me or they're interested in, what helps you do what you do, then, yeah, I share. But the biggest thing for me is just loving on my teammates, being where they're at, relating with them, being a relatable teammate, and then if they ask about what I believe in, then I'm all for sharing. So in the moment, I'm not trying to be so consumed with, man, we're losing, which it's hard because you pour everything you have, for those moments to win. Well, you're one win away from going to the Super Bowl and playing the biggest game of your life. Yeah. And there's so many people in that organization that you don't want to let down and all that kind of stuff. But I think there's a bigger thing at hand, and that's what God's doing. And in that moment, it's like, man, how can I keep my eyes on the Lord and truly believe that there's going to be something that comes from this, and that He has something written out bigger than we all could ever imagine. And so, and that's not saying this is going to be the Brock Purdy story or anything like that of this 30 for 30. It's for everyone, man, and I believe that. And so, for in that moment, that's what I was thinking of. Like, I know what you're doing, God, and I don't know what you're doing exactly, but I know that you're the author of all of it, and that you're going to write out something that's pretty beautiful for everyone in this life, for that game. And so that's where I was at mentally with that. That's how I handled it. And I had, I don't know if I see him differently. I definitely have just learned just different things, just about who he is and his love, and like I said, how faithful he is. But I would just say more than anything, man, like for me, when we last talked in 2021 and then early on in 2022, I did a lot of, just trying to hold on to my life, and I wanted to go this way or that way. And so I think the biggest thing was, man, just letting go and just letting Him truly use me in any avenue that he wanted to and needed to. And so, I don't know, just seeing that and letting Him, just truly surrendering rather than trying to control every little thing that I've done. So I think that's something that He taught me definitely early on in 2022. I didn't know if I was going to be playing in the NFL or not. Right. And I just let that up to Him, and here we are. So.